Americans are hooked on Zyn.
Have you heard of Zyns? They're little pouches of nicotine that people tuck into their lip.
It gives you a shot of dopamine, so you just feel a little energized, happier.
Over the past year, sales of Zyn have skyrocketed.
Young people promote them.
On social media, they're called Zinfluencers.
The only thing I care about in life.
Uppy Dicker, little Zimbabwe before the wedding.
Nicotine pouches are safer than cigarettes. They let you get a hit of nicotine without smoking. That's why the FDA supports nicotine pouches.
The FDA authorized the sale of Zyn nicotine pouches.
Pouches help people stop smoking. Still, many anti-tobacco activists oppose all nicotine use.
No amount of nicotine is safe.
They've convinced many people that nicotine pouches and vaping are as harmful as smoking.
I think it's all the same. If you're gonna do nicotine, maybe just smoke a cigarette.
At the end of the day, you're still gonna be getting cancer, right?
No, probably not. Nicotine's addictive, but it's not what makes tobacco deadly. What causes cancer is the mix of chemicals in tobacco smoke. But the eager-to-ban-things crowd wants to restrict even pouches.
It's a pouch packed with problems.
Some states ban certain flavors.
No added flavors at all.
And some impose high taxes.
Nicotine pouches in Washington just became a lot more expensive because of the state's 95% tax.
That makes pouches about as expensive as cigarettes, which is just dumb.
It's not the nicotine that kills you, it's smoking.
Guy Bentley is director of consumer freedom at the Reason Foundation.
You shouldn't be treating something like a nicotine pouch the way we treat cigarettes.
But state after state is.
If you make the safer alternative to cigarettes more expensive, more cigarettes will be sold.
We've seen that with other smoking alternatives. When Minnesota applied its 95% tax to vaping, thousands of smokers who would have quit didn't.
Because the more expensive you make the safer product, the more of the most dangerous product will be sold.
These nicotine pouches seem to lock their sights on young kids.
The ban things crowd always talks about protecting the children.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
We're making this harder for children to buy them.
That's no matter what, kids are going to be getting nicotine.
By the time somebody says, it's for the kids, they're really just trying to tug on the heartstrings and make you stop thinking about it quite so much.
The governor is a grandmother. She cares about the health of our children.
Please, almost no kids are using these products.
The National Youth Tobacco Survey found fewer than 1% of high schoolers use them frequently.
Nobody wants kids using any products that are just meant for adults. But this is an incredibly low proportion of youth.
It's adults who are buying the stuff?
It is adults who are buying this stuff. More than 7 million American adults are using nicotine pouches, and that's growing, particularly among people who smoke. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Finally, another problem ignored by the just ban things crowd. Bans and high taxes create black markets and crime. Australia taxes cigarettes heavily.
And what do we see? We don't see that smoking rates continue to fall. You see hundreds of arson attacks.
Cigarette sellers competing on the black market. Firebomb competitors.
Criminal gangs have been seizing on the massive profits.
For tobacco, for cigarettes, this isn't drugs, but that is what government tax policy has done.
We haven't had fire bombings here.
We haven't, but if we continue the way we are, we've seen what a disaster the war on drugs was. Why would we want to replicate that with nicotine?
Good question. I wanted to take it to the activist groups who push bans or very high taxes on nicotine. Not one would agree to an interview. It's too bad. I really wanted to ask this group about their push for the end of commercial tobacco and nicotine use.
A nicotine-free society is as ridiculous and insane as a gambling-free society, an alcohol-free society, a junk food-free society, a society free of life's little pleasures that we all indulge in.
All right, but people want government to protect us.
They want government to protect other people from themselves. But when it's something you consuming and the government interferes, people start to complain. If you want to use nicotine, caffeine, alcohol, place a bet on a football game or play poker.
A flush?
That should be up to you. This is part of the taste, texture, and color of life.
Exactly. We should be free to make those choices for ourselves. When politicians decide, they almost always make things worse. I don't use these things, but it should be your choice. It's also your choice if you'd like to like and subscribe. The buttons are there, but it's your call.